Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Well, we lost the feed and now it's back. Hey, stranger things have happened. So, everybody, I am Mike Asherbrenner. I'm the proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business Community. And we are rolling with Mike King with Mike King Biz, ESPN 106.1 FM RVA. Mike King always pushes up his community. And dadgummit, that's what we do. So it's like PB&J. They put them in the same jar. I'm still talking about it 20 years later. So we're going to get right to it because I've already rolled the intro. We lost feed, but folks in Virginia out there in Richmond, thank you for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And there's nothing better than veterans doing well, right? Getting jobs and really making things happen. But when when it comes to veterans helping veterans, I don't know how it gets better than that. And so today we've already got him on here for the tech issue we just had. John Kerkhoff, right? I see I got it this time.
Mhm.
Hey, there you
You
go.
got
Even a
it.
blind squirrel catches nothing every now and then. All right. So we're here with him and we're going to talk about this because this guy has built something that's already in force that helps push up veterans. It's unbelievable and I can't wait to get started. But before we dive into Frago22 and how you created that, John, do us a favor. Give us a little backdrop on your military background. 20 years in the military, Army. Thank you for your service and sacrifice and how that career prepared you for this current role to start this community and all the things you've got going with Fraggle 22.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. Definitely. Anyone who's ever touched the military knows that it's hectic, it's chaos, it's everything that does not make sense, all in a nice, pretty package that they've kicked down the street. So, a lot of the military really kind of prepared me for the unexpected, being able to anticipate things three, four, five moves down the line, and everything you plan for isn't gonna be what happens. So definitely moving
Yeah.
on the fly, being able to see and project and change in a moment's notice. So definitely set the stage for where I'm at today and kind of how I operate with veterans and businesses alike.
Yes, sir. And I'm still over here going, are we still live? I don't even know what's happening, but I know what's going on the radio. That's all that matters. So when did you retire from the military? Was it recent?
Yeah, I retired July of 2022, so 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So did you know was it something that you always carried with you to help other veterans and folks and your brothers and sisters? Or was it something that happened after the retirement?
It's actually a little bit of both. So I've always had a soft spot for taking care of people, especially my veterans, my soldiers. When I got my first job out of the military, I was still getting calls from a lot of my old soldiers like, "Hey, for Sergeant, I'm about to leave. Here's what I'm doing. Can you help me out?" So definitely was doing that and was already, in the mix. And I really enjoyed it just because I wanted to make sure they were not having the same issues I had when I left the service. And then fast forward a year, my first year out, I said, you know what? We need to correct a few things out in the world, and one of it is being alignment, and one of it is being how organizations look at veterans and value veterans and integrate them into their organizations. So that was pretty much the founding of Frago right there.
Wow. So you come out of this. You have any background in starting companies, communities, nonprofits? Have you had experience in that, or is this something you just figured out by sheer grit?
Something I 100% figured out by getting punched in the face repeatedly.
I, I love it. That's when I realized 95% of the self help section is maybe hogwash, right? Because as I went through this, it's a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of inner growth, a lot of sleepless nights, wondering if you can make it,
Yep.
wondering if you can pay the electric bill. And you do that months and maybe years, right?
Mhm.
So it didn't take you months or years. I mean, it didn't take years and years. So you have actually got this thing rolling. So we know what it kind of inspired you. If you want to add more to it, do that. Fraggle 22, right? So what's this? First of all, what's the significance behind the company name? So folks who aren't military may not know that.
So definitely, Fraggle was chosen for few specific reasons. One of which, in the military, when you have orders and you're on a mission and something changes, you get a fragmentation order, which is, hey, here's what's new, here's what changed, and here's what you got to do now. So for short, we call it a Frago. So you hear, oh, this is a Frago. Usually the number is associated with the change number you're at. For Frago 22, it's a combination of the 22 veteran suicides you hear about, but it's also the combination of, oh, I retired in 22, so it just worked out, like you said, peanut butter and jelly.
My goodness. And kind of give us an overview. I'll ask some questions here, but it's kind of
Yeah.
twofold. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have homeless veterans, right? And some of them are
Mhm.
struggling with things and mental health issues and whatnot, right? And they need a hand up. But a lot of these folks cannot get integrated for whatever reason into the workforce, right? So
Mhm.
tell us, how does Frago 22? What does it do for the veterans on the streets and struggling, but also to integrate them and their veteran talent into the workforce. Give us just an overview on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tackling the homeless veteran crisis, one of the things we have started doing, we're partnered with some great agencies, is we are building homestead communities for homeless veterans. And we're not talking like, hey, here's a house, good luck. It is an actual homestead where they get a little home, they get a plot of land, they get taught how to pretty much grow on that land, be self-sufficient. And then we have a vocational training building on site that we could start bringing training to them, getting them back up to speed, getting them reintegrated with some skills, something that they could take into the workforce. And then we help them prepare to find a job. Now we know some of our veterans may not be integrated back into society, and that's fine. That's the homestead portion. So they're still taken care of. They're not on the street and they have access to all the resources they need and deserve. So that's how we tackle that issue. And then at the same time, we also help other veterans, maybe not as on hard times, but we help get them ready to go into a workforce again with that training, with that mentorship development. Then we're linking them up with the big businesses we work with who really want to become veteran ready organizations to utilize this talent. So it's a win win for everyone.
It sounds like it because when I hear veterans can't get jobs, I'm like, are you serious? Like you don't want somebody who can understand the positive tribal mentality, who it can overcome adversity, learn quickly, and not run at the first sign of challenge, right? Am I missing something? So what are some of the things that you know of in your experience here that 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 is a barrier that you guys help seek to solve? Like, what is it just the lack of skill? Is it the organization and companies don't want to train? Like, what is the separator between amazing veterans and potential jobs?
So a lot of it is alignment, like straight up alignment. A veteran may go chasing a job right away and take the first thing that they could get out of fear. Or it could be the organization thought they knew how to handle a veteran and bringing them in. And then really there's no training, there's no lack of, there's a lack of growth potential, there's a lack of vision and organization. And, like you said, we're a tribal mentality. So if we don't see growth and we don't see prosperity or potential, we're going to go find it. And that's where we're coming in to help. We're going to build that culture. And we're really just going to get everyone aligned. So our veterans go into your organization and thrive. And then with it, you thrive, your business thrives.
It's unbelievable because you have actual communities, right, where folks were homeless
Mhm.
or without resources, and now they have a community. It's wild because I seen this in 2007 when I visited the Trappist Monastery in around Trappist, Kentucky. And it was a self-contained and I thought, "Wow, if we did this for the homeless people, right, we wouldn't have an issue." The people like, they would be able to grow their own food and do all these things, and you guys have done it, right? You've done it in Canada, and you're looking to do it in a couple
Mhm.
more states, right?
Absolutely. We're already working the land development in Virginia, in Nevada. We're looking to acquire land in Texas, and of course, we want to take this to all 50 states. So we just working with the doctors and the people I've partnered with. We're able to launch the first set up in Canada for a women's group, women veterans. It's looking really good. So now we know what to do. We're going to take it down, and we're setting this up. Let's take care of our veterans the real way.
Man, that is unbelievable. Could you imagine out there, listen, on the radio, could you imagine, somebody's just hopeless, down the dumps, homeless, living on the street, whatever. And now they have a community where they can thrive, they can grow, they can learn the resources, and live, fully live. Man, they gave to our country. Least we could do is right, give them a chance, right? Do what they did for us. And that's what this is about, right, John?
Absolutely. Taking care of each other, taking care of our own.
Yeah, exactly, and all of us. They're you said taking care of our own. Hey, if if you're a citizen, they're ours, man, and I believe
Mhm.
that. Okay, so That is just amazing. So when it comes to company support, right? Because the whole point is to connect the talent, right? Get the talent up, help people where they're at, help these veterans,
Mhm.
connect them with businesses. So walk us through a little bit because your website, the folks can't see it. I want everybody to go to Frago, FRAGO. So Frago, the numbers 22. So type in frago22.com. All right. And go check this out. So if you're a veteran, you click one side of the screen on the website. And if you're a business, you click the other side. So let's start with the veteran. So,
Mhm.
veterans helping find new careers. So if you're a veteran and you're seeking support and help, what's the step? Is it click, you got a form, or like, what's the first part, the first steps a veteran would take to get some help here?
So the veterans, they click on the veteran side. Uh, there'll be a quick introduction about, hey, what we do, what we provide. And then at the bottom of the screen is just a quick fill out little form that they'll just fill out, name, email, what they're looking for, and we will get it and we will start taking care of them. The big thing we do for our veterans, aside from getting them linked up with all the whatever they need for training or skill sets or whatever, is we also coach and mentor transitioning service members. So if you're a service member and you are in the transition window, you have free coaching and counseling from us to get you through that process so you don't hit those roadblocks and to really fill where tap falls short.
So you're being proactive. You're doing it even before the problem arises. You're like, "Hey, before you get out of the military, let's go ahead and start this process," right? That is brilliant, man. It's
Yep.
just proactive. You all thought of everything, man. This is really good stuff. So now we go to the business side. So when you go to frago22.com, you see on the right side businesses, right? So what are some ways in a couple steps, or how can businesses plug into this, help out, be a part of the solution, but also benefit?
So with the businesses, we love partnering with you because when you succeed, our veterans succeed, right, and vice versa. And the big thing we want to do, we want to come in and we want to get you to that point where you become veteran ready. There's a lot of companies out there. You have no veteran programs. There are some of you who are veteran friendly, which is not the same. These are actual skills and levels that you need to be at, but you want to be veteran ready. These means you have programs for your veterans, you have processes in place, you value your veterans, you're taking care of them. And when that community thrives, your business thrives. And we want to make sure that it's a win-win for both parties, not just the veterans are getting all this love and no one else, and not just your business is getting love and not anyone else, right? It's a whole community, it's the whole organization. Veteran or not, everyone benefits.
Yeah, and this is practical. It can help with retention cost of companies. It can, overhead. They can benefit with training. This is not just something to do. This is beneficial, right? And I
Hmm.
love this because my time in the nonprofit was the same thing, man. I said, if we help people that want to get off of assistance and dependency, then they can go buy all
Hmm.
the crap you're trying to sell in this room. That's what I said at the chamber, at the comma. And they, one guy stood up. The rest of them were looking at me like I was crazy. But one guy said, "You know what? I'm going to volunteer my services.
Hmm.
I see value in this." That's all it took was one guy, and then we had all the daggum healthcare companies and whatnot in it. So you were that one guy, John, and here we are. Mike King Biz Radio. He's a veteran, so he gets it. Good guy, and a lot of folks, military veterans, or we have family or friends, so everybody can get behind this because we want to see people do good, right? And that's what this is. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and halftime, right? Even though we lost the live stream. So it's all the folks in radio land right now. Appreciate you guys. You are tuning in to the Hounds of Business Presents Mike King Biz Radio, 106.1 FM RVA. We are here with the one and only John Kerkhoff. I said his name twice properly. So good job, Mike. And guys, don't do this alone. Don't build your business alone. Don't go at it alone. If you're a high level, heart centered professional, we get things done without the pitch slap with a P, pitch slap and spamming. We've created this redneck Camelot for business people, professionals, where you can go in there, give. They expect us to say we're great. Here's what they don't expect. They don't expect hundreds of super pros to run around LinkedIn in person and say you're great. You can't manufacture that. You can't buy that at the daggum corner store. That's earned. All right. So that's how we connected with John, the great Amy Hammond. All right. She just said, "Hey, you guys need to connect." Right. And guess who just popped in the house? The one and only Amy Hammond. So guys, this is fun. We have fun, get things done. Um, but being able to push up this kind of mission is what we live for. I love it. So back to Frago22, guys, go to frago22.com. Check it out, pass it on. There's people that want to do this, they just don't know about it. And that's why we're having this out here. So we understand now that you have a community, has a farm, it has
Mhm.
resources for mental health, skill sets, all of these things. You built this little utopia. All right. So let's pivot gears. I want to go. How has your personal experience, right? First sergeant, you were a platoon sergeant, correct?
I was a platoon sergeant, and then I retired out as a first sergeant.
Okay. So how has that background for 20 years, how has it influenced your leadership style in the business world as you go and develop all these communities and you have your own business that you use. So you
Mhm.
earn money in your own daggum business to support this mission. I mean,
Mhm.
you're leading from the front. So explain that. How did your background in the military help you become the businessman and pretty much philanthropist that you are now?
So, I was for those who don't know, my story, I was a combat arms guy. I was a cavalry scout, so definitely combat arms, leading, following, all those things, going through those hectic times. But when you're a platoon sergeant, when you're a first sergeant, your role kind of advances. Now you're really taking care of people. The levels of leadership, you're taking care of soldiers, but now it's at a higher level, it's a higher echelon, and going out as a first sergeant, especially like my job as a first sergeant, any first sergeant, is beans, bodies, and bullets. That I am responsible for taking care of everyone down to the wire, the food, the ammunition, you name it. If it involves a soldier, that's my job. That's my role. And I never, you don't leave that role. You take care of people, and you take care. The more you take care of soldiers, the more you take care of people, the more things get accomplished, and just makes things better. And so that's what I've always carried with me. That's how I run my organization. That's how I run my business. And that's why you see I'm involved in these communities, and really just taking care of people down to the wire people.
That's why you're such a daggum good fit in the hounds, man. You're not just, hey, how can I go help someone else? How can I go, bring value to others? And then they go, oh, the right people who believe in the same value system say, hey, what's this John guy got going on, man? How can I connect, right? I don't.
Mhm.
I just do it because I can. That's good things happen, thank goodness, because I'm not homeless. But I don't seek out to do it, right? And you're
Mhm.
you're you're not here to make oodles of money. You're here to pay the bills so you can help other people and
Yep.
change lives. That's why we're doing it. The why is much more important than the what sometimes. So let's go this way. So now putting it to the folks, right? So you help, and by the way, I love what you said earlier. Businesses, go connect with this frago22.com because it's one thing to be veteran friendly. It's another thing to be veteran ready. All right. And that's a
Mhm.
win-win. So I want you guys to go to frago22 was it .com or .org?
.com.
.com. Gotcha. Good.
Yep.
And don't assume anything. Go get the info, have a discussion. But let's pivot. So we talked about your experience in the military transition. Can you give some examples of how military skills and experience can translate into, being an asset in the corporate world?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, you have some pretty hard skills and very specialty jobs. HR, easily transferable, tech skills, easily transferable, communications. But what happens when you have a job like mine where it's combat? How do you take a combat job and jump into a different organization, a different industry? Well, it's those soft skills. We could translate those soft skills and really talk about, like, how does map reading really relate to, let's say, running a help desk? Well, easy, because I got to understand the playing field. I got to understand what I'm looking at. I need to know what the objective is and where I'm going, and how I translate that into my help desk. Like, I'm troubleshooting essentially when I read a map and do land nav, I'm troubleshooting, or when I'm shooting my rifle, or when I'm out there leading people, right? There's a whole dynamic to it, and those soft skills can transfer. And that's really what it's about. And one of my favorite things to tell my veterans is, you're not stuck with what job you had in the military. You don't believe me? Again, I was a combat guy. My first job out of the military was with a communications company building data centers, and now I'm running a business. So you are not stuck.
Daggum straight, man. I told you I was going to connect you with J. Scott Heathman, right? Dude ran Scott
Mhm.
Air Force Base. And now he's in business, right? He has his own business, elevating others. And I'm shameless plug, elevating others, LLC.com, guys. All right. Because who wouldn't want a guy who could run it? And here's the fun part, and I could tell you're the same way, John. You guys lead from the front. People would follow you without rank. That's why you're so successful in business, right? And this is what you get when you have a military veteran who has ambition. They're willing to put in the work, build the skill set. You've got a loyal person that can learn and be there, and a supervisor, manager, right? People
Mhm,
will follow them because they like them. They like the way they're treated. They believe in their competency. And this is what we talk about when I think of veterans. I still blown away. Like, man, I'd hire a veteran every day. Well, they don't know the skill. I'll give them the skill. Gummit, right? And that's what you're doing. So this is a
mhm,
win-win. You should be the HR department's best friend at this point, right? Like, there's no reason not to engage in something here. And I am honored. I know Mike King, putting this kind of thing out. That's what he does in Richmond all the time. They put him on the
mhm,
jumbotron, man, because they just love the guy. He's the real deal.
mhm.
So are you. So we got a few minutes left. Let's go into this. What are some of the biggest challenges? Because not all of us know this. What are some of the biggest challenges that veterans face when they go from military and they transition to a civilian career? And then also, how does your organization help touch? I know we touched that a little bit, but in general, what are some of the biggest challenges veterans face going from civilian to military?
The biggest challenge that a veteran faces is literally being able to talk about themselves on a resume. You think the majority of every service member joins at 18, like I did, some 17, some a little older, but really don't have a whole lot of adult life experience. They do their military time, and the military is very structured, right? In terms of how to advance to the next grade, how to advance in your job, but how do you translate that on a resume for these civilian corporations and companies? So that's where we suck at. Like, just plain and simple, we don't know how to do it. And that's where we need a lot of help and being able to talk about ourselves and say, hey, this is what I could do. And this is what I'm capable of. And we're very, I will show you mentality. And we got to break that stigma a little bit on our side of the house and really, okay, it's okay to talk about yourself. It's okay to associate these skills. And we help build those skills out, and get them on the resume. Great partnerships to help write resumes and really translate the superstar that veteran is.
Wow, and well said. And think about it this way. They're playing a new game. Remember when MJ, remember when he was at basketball and he went to
Yep.
baseball, right? That's how I think of it. I'm like, it, it's a sport, but it's vastly different, right? And that's
Yep.
what you do. You help people go, how do I play this game, right? I was in this military life, but it's a different ballpark, man. It's a different game, but it's transferable, right? If you're
Yep.
fast, you're skillful, you can apply that. And that's how I look at what you do. Hey, the military veterans they got it. They just need a little transition pivot, man. They need a little help, realigning their game, right? Yeah, hey, it's not basketball
Absolutely.
anymore. It's baseball, a little different. But they can learn it. They learned all this stuff in the military, right? And don't forget, they chose their profession in the military. It's not like they had to do it. So they learn one skill, they can learn another skill. And that's what this is
Yep.
about. So what advice, John? This is a big one here. What advice would you give the business owners who are looking to tap into that potential of veteran talent?
Get ready for them. Know what you're asking for, prepare for them, have that plan in place, right? The best thing is when you know how to hire a veteran and you know how to bring them on board and make them thrive in your organization. Here's a secret. There's a tax break for you when it's involved in certain aspects. So, hey, not only do you get someone who's going to thrive in your organization when you do it right and you're veteran ready, but you're also going to get a tax break from it when you pull from the right veteran population. So make sure you're do your homework, study, and come contact Frago. We will take care of you and get you ready.
That's it. Hey, frago22.com, everybody. Go have a conversation. Do I don't listen, we don't care if people say yes or no. Here's what we encourage people to do. Know what you're saying yes and no to. If something can vastly change your life, your business, solve problems, go get all the information before you say no or yes, man. I wish I'd done that years before. Hey, better late than never, right? But that's it. They say no. What know what it is first, because it could be. It could be business changing. And if you're a veteran, don't do it alone. Right? Plug in. And we've got
Mhm.
a lot of veterans in the house, but we got a lot of people do a lot of stuff. And so crossing people, having that synergy is big. All right, last question, because I lost track of time with the tech issues. Looking ahead, man, what is your vision for Fraggle 22? for the impact on veterans in business in the community. So, what is your vision? What does it look like? What do you want to accomplish?
First and foremost, veteran homelessness is over, it's ended, and it will never happen again, right? No matter what, the veteran will be taken care of with all the right resources from the time they start transitioning out all the way through the rest of their life. First and foremost. Other than that, it's taking care of people, taking care of them, taking care of the organizations, and really just worldwide taking care of our folks.
And Gummit, you said it all. Hey guys, appreciate you. John, hey, thank you so much. Go to Frago,
Thank you.
FRAGO 22, the number's 22. So frago22.com. Plug in, share it with a veteran, share it with a business owner, a company. Get this ball rolling. HR department should be all over this. So thank you, Mike King Biz. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, man.
Thank
You're
you,
a
Mike King
stand-up
Biz.
guy. Man, yep, you know it. He's awesome. And all the listeners out there in Richmond, we appreciate you. All the hounds who try to show up before the tech issues. Hey, things happen. We roll on. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. We got a special guest as usual. So, hey, same time, same channel, guys. Have a good one. They can't see you, but wave bye anyway, John. There you go.
Wave 'em by.
There we go. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.